Our security doesn't come from any policeman guarding us. Our security really comes from people around the world who care about the issues that we are addressing in our own different capacities in our countries. And I believe that the work of defense of human rights is impossible to do, and strategies are impossible to be constructed until we are very well aware not only of the national political climate, but also the global political climate, because this is a globalized world, whether we like it or not. What happens in one part of the world affects the other.
Civil society and people in that region are not doing enough, and we need to empower them so that they can spread the culture of democracy. If instead of Gaddafi in Libya, they would have had a democratic and a national government, people would never have staged an uprising leading to a civil war in Libya, thus forcing the people to flee in order to save their lives.
A lot of other external actors with their fingers in this particular Syrian pie are going to have to get the hell out of there, stop imposing their own priorities and their own prejudices on the situation, and try and find enough internal players that have enough common commitment to the future of the country to craft a solution. That sounds incredibly romantic. It's not impossible.
I take this opportunity to make this plea to world leaders. Please do not use the presence of refugees either in your country or in your neighboring countries or in your region for taking forward political agendas. These are very real issues. These are very real people. There are children, women, vulnerable communities that we need to take care of.
There is an urgent need to provide for education for the children of the refugees. Most of the refugee children in Turkey, for example, are not in school at all, and those refugees desperately want education for their children.
The international organizations should see these children, this treasure. Children are the treasure of the entire humanity. That's the most precious thing that we have, but we are throwing them into the wind. If we could stop those who sell weapons, we could build universities. If we want peace, if we want the world to be a better place, we need to send all of these children to school. When they study, all of them study at school, the world will become a paradise.
You had a great deal of sympathy pointed out in polls, but that you would still have 75% of those polled who were unwilling to open the doors up to refugees any further than they were. That is, there was sympathy, but a lack of action.
I think we also have to look at a lot of places that have had this kind of crimes in the past and trying to prevent them to be a reoccurrence. It's often said that the best predictor of genocide is past genocide, because there is very much a question of prevention. It's very much a question of person-to-person attitudes. It's very much a question of the choices all of us make in these kinds of situations. So I'm very delighted that the Aurora Prize is recognizing those individuals who have made the courageous decisions, because that is the core of R2P, and that is the core of preventing mass atrocities.
I think the world needs to take the blindfold out, and if I may speak in my typical voice, the men need to really get to the place where they tell the rest of the world they are exhausted pretending to know it all when it comes to peace processes. There's no way any man can say he knows the community better than any woman, and peace is about the community, peace is about the entire nation, and peace is about people.
You know, the breaking news is no longer in the hands of ABC or CBS or NBC. Citizens break news. Citizens are the ones that are usually there on the scene to see what's happening.
It's great to have citizen journalists. It's great to have people around the world who are newly empowered to tell stories. The problem is we can't figure out a way to aggregate them. You know, we can't figure out a way for there to be an objective, believed, verifiable reality on which decisions are made, action is taken, and I see that getting worse, not better.
To get great reporting, either from TV or from newspapers, You need to have an independent, thriving news organization. Unless you get a thriving news organization, expect to hear Mozart play on a ukulele. You're not going to get it.